Have you ever sat in the quiet of your room, looking at your phone or watching the people around you, and felt a strange, hollow ache in your chest because it seems like everyone else is crossing the finish line while you are still stuck at the starting gates? Have you ever watched someone who doesn't even seem to care about God, or someone who hasn't put in half the work you have, step effortlessly into a promotion, a beautiful relationship, a financial breakthrough, or a thriving platform, while you are left holding nothing but broken promises and unanswered prayers? You've done the right things. You've stayed faithful in the dark. You've prayed until your voice was a whisper. You've kept your integrity when it would have been easier to compromise. And yet, the silence from heaven is so heavy it feels physical. It makes you want to look up at the sky and ask the question that clones itself in the mind of every exhausted believer. Lord, if you love me, why are you making me wait for what others got instantly? If you are carrying that hidden weight today, if you are tired of smiling for other people's milestones while secretly weeping over your own empty hands, I want you to take a deep, slow breath right now. Let the tension drop out of your shoulders. Listen to the steady rhythm of your own breathing. Feel the cool air filling your lungs and the warmth of the space around you. You don't have to perform here. You don't have to pretend you have it all figured out. I want to talk to you like a friend sitting across the kitchen table, sharing a warm cup of coffee while the rain taps against the window pane. I want to pull back the curtain on what is actually happening in your season of delay, because I promise you, your waiting is not your punishment. It is your preparation. Stay with me until the very end of this video, because if you are on the verge of throwing your hands up and walking away from your destiny out of pure frustration, there is a specific perspective shift we are going to reach together that will completely change how you view your empty seasons. It's the difference between building something that vanishes overnight and building something that outlives you. And I don't want you to miss the moment it clicks for your soul. Let's talk about a picture that God uses all through creation to teach us about how He grows a human life. Think about a common dandelion or a wild weed. If you plant a weed seed in damp soil, you can practically watch it explode into existence. Within a matter of days, it shoots out of the earth, green and vibrant, claiming space in the garden. It requires almost no deep cultivation. It doesn't need to wait for the perfect season. It just bursts forth instantly. But have you ever looked at the root system of a weed? It's shallow. It sits right beneath the surface of the topsoil, barely clinging to the earth. The moment a heavy summer storm rolls in, or the moment the blazing sun beats down without rain for a few days, or the moment someone steps on it, it is gone. It was fast to grow, but it was just as fast to wither. Now, contrast that with a massive, historic oak tree. An oak tree doesn't rush. If you plant an acorn in the ground, you might look at that patch of dirt for months and see absolutely nothing. You could walk past it day after day, stomping your feet, wondering if the seed died in the dark, wondering if you wasted your time watering a grave. While the weeds are popping up all around it, celebrating their instant height, the oak tree is doing something hidden. It is spending its first, most crucial season sending roots deep into the dark, rocky, hidden places of the earth. It is wrapping itself around boulders, anchoring its foundation deep into the water table, establishing a grip so fierce that nothing on the surface can shake it. It takes decades for that oak to reach its majestic height. But when the Category 5 hurricanes come, when the droughts wipe out every weed in the valley, that oak tree stands completely unmoved. Its branches shelter thousands, its wood is unbreakable, and its destiny is permanent. You see, many of us are begging God to make us a weed because we want the instant relief of being seen, when God is saying, "No, I am building an oak tree, and I refuse to let a shallow foundation ruin your future." Scripture captures this divine packing so beautifully in Jeremiah 17:7-8. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in Him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought and never fails to bear fruit. Notice that the text doesn't say the tree avoids the heat or skips the drought. The heat will come. The dry seasons will happen. The difference between the person who collapses under pressure and the person whose leaves stay green in the middle of a famine is entirely about where their roots went during the time no one was watching. When God makes you wait, He isn't withholding from you. He is anchoring you. He knows the weight of the blessing you are asking for, and He refuses to give you a platform, a relationship, or a level of wealth that your current character cannot sustain. If He gave you the palace while you still had the insecurity of the pit, the palace would crush you. If He gave you the marriage while your heart was still seeking validation from people instead of Him, that relationship would become an idol that eventually broke your heart. The delay is not a denial. It is the grace of a Father who loves you too much to let your sudden elevation become your sudden destruction. Consider the physical reality of being in the dark. Think about how a seed feels when it's buried. It's suffocating. It smells like damp earth. It's completely silent. There are no cameras there, no applause, no signs of progress. You might feel like you are buried right now, buried under financial stress, buried under the loneliness of being single while all your friends are getting married, buried in a job where your talents are completely overlooked and unappreciated. But there is a massive spiritual difference between being buried and being planted. When you are buried, people think you're finished. But when you are planted, it means a master gardener put you in that specific soil on purpose, because He knows exactly what is inside that seed. And He knows that the dark is the only environment that can force the outer shell of your ego to break open so your true spiritual potential can grow. Look at what happened in the life of Joseph. He had a dream of greatness when he was just a teenager. He saw himself leading, standing in authority, being a source of life for millions. But right after God gave him the vision, his life didn't go up, it went down. He was betrayed by his own flesh and blood, sold into slavery, falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, and thrown into a literal dungeon. For 13 years, Joseph waited. He watched other prisoners come and go. He helped the chief cupbearer get restored to the king's side, and then he was completely forgotten in the dark for 2 more agonizing years. Can you imagine the smell of that prison cell? The cold dampness of the stone walls? The sound of rattling chains every time he turned over to sleep? Joseph had every reason to say, "God, you lied to me. Why am I waiting here while my brothers are living free in Canaan?" But Psalm 105:19 reveals the divine strategy behind those 13 years. Until the time that His word came to pass, the word of the Lord tested him. The word didn't just promote Joseph, it tested him. It refined him. God was sending Joseph's roots so deep into the soil of humility, forgiveness, and administrative excellence that, when he was finally lifted out of that prison, he could step into the role of Prime Minister of Egypt in a single day and save the entire known world from a historic famine. If Joseph had received the promotion instantly, he would have used his power to punish his brothers out of revenge. God had to keep him in the waiting room until the hurt was gone, and only the purpose remained. What does this mean for you today? It means you need to stop measuring your progress by someone else's harvest. Social media has tricked us into thinking that growth should be instant and effortless. We see the highlighted reels of people stepping into massive success, but we don't see the shallow roots. We don't see the anxiety, the lack of character, or the instability that often hides behind a fast-tracked life. If you get a breakthrough instantly without a process, you will spend your entire life terrified that you're going to lose it because you don't know how you got it in the first place. But when you grow the slow way, when you have to pray through every boundary, trust God for every car payment, lean on Him through every lonely night, and study His word just to keep your mind sane, you develop a history with God. You learn the sound of His voice in the storm. You learn that He is a provider not because your bank account is full, but because He fed you when it was completely empty. Once you know Him like that, no one can shake your confidence. Your roots are wrapped around the Rock of Ages. Let's look at another powerful promise found in Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Notice the phrase, at the proper time. It doesn't say at your time. It doesn't say when your calendar says it's logical. It says at the proper time. the season orchestrated by the one who sees the end from the beginning. God's timing is surgical. He is never early, and he is never a second too late. Think about the advice you need to hear right now in this exact moment of your life. Quit looking at the weeds. Stop checking their pages. Stop asking why their doors are opening while yours are shut. Every minute you spend envying someone else's instant growth is a minute you steal from cultivating your own deep roots. Use this quiet season to build your character. Use this time to master your craft, to clean up your heart, to heal from your past trauma, and to fall so deeply in love with the presence of God that you don't even need an audience to feel validated. If you learn to worship him in the wilderness, you will be completely safe when he places you in the promised land. The wilderness is where you learn that God is enough. If you don't learn that he is enough in the dark, you will never believe he is enough when the lights are bright. Nothing is impossible for our God. He hasn't forgotten the tears you cried last night. He hasn't overlooked the sacrifices you made when no one else was looking. Every single moment of your delay is being factored into a massive, beautiful compensation package that heaven is preparing for your life. When your oak tree finally breaks through the soil, it will be so magnificent, so stable, and so deeply rooted that it will stand as a permanent monument to the faithfulness of God. Your destiny will not be a passing trend. It will be a permanent legacy. I want to thank you so much for staying with me until the very end of this message. If you felt a quiet resonance in your heart today, if this felt like the reassuring voice of comfort you've been asking God for, then I want to warmly welcome you to this space. This channel is a sanctuary built for education, deep motivation, and spiritual inspiration designed to help you scale your inner world and grow your life. We are here to walk hand in hand through the realities of how to have unshakable faith in God, how to speak to him in deep, raw prayer, and how to position your mind to know that there is absolutely nothing, no delay, no obstacle, no mountain, that our God cannot move. If you want to protect your peace and build roots that can withstand any season life throws at you, please click that subscribe button, join our community, and turn on the notification bell so we can keep walking this journey together. Before you move on with your day, I want you to do one thing for me. Leave your honest thoughts in the comments right below this video. Tell me, what is one area of your life where you have felt frustrated by the wait, and how can we pray for your roots to grow deeper today? Let's talk about it, let's lift each other up, and let's remind ourselves that the greatest things take time to grow. Stay strong, keep trusting the gardener, and I will see you in our next reflection.